Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
I'm just saying hi to everyone, Jules. Welcome to the first session of the day on the Rosero Game stage, and we are doing our world famous, well, I like to say it's world famous, full English.
In your mind, Dan.
In my mind.
It's world famous.
I am Dan Webb. I am the editor-in-chief of Xbox Achievements PlayStation Trophies. On my left is Mr. Richard Walker.
Hello.
What's your job, Rich? What do you do?
I am news editor, but I think I do a bit more than that.
Okay, and
Can he have a raise?
well, somebody's angling for a promotion. On my right we have BBC gaming personality, Julia Hardy.
God.
I hate you, Dan.
What? Do you not like that?
Yeah, fine.
And then on her right we have Mr. Lee Abrahams, who is resident reviewer.
Dog's body.
General Dog's Body.
General Dog's
Thank
Body.
you.
Yeah.
So basically all we're going to do for the first hour of today is talk a little bit about our favourite games of the year, some of the games that we thought went under the radar, games that we're looking forward to and stuff like that. We'll get you guys involved as well. We're going to take questions from the chat as well. It's going to be nice and simple. So we're going to kick things off talking about our favourite game, our game of the year so far for 2015. We're going to start off with Rich.
Go on, Rich.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
So say the game name and why
You knew
it's
this
your...
question was coming.
I know, but still, I'm still not prepared for it. Okay, so I think so far The Witcher 3 has been my game of the year.
Yep.
But then Metal Gear came out, and I think ever so slightly edged it, just a little bit. So I've been really, really enjoying the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. It's amazing. And you know that all too well.
I do, yes.
You've been trying to S-rank every mission, as have you, I know.
True that.
But Julia, you haven't played it, have you?
I've just spent my entire life trying to finish The Witcher 3. I thought it ended about 3 different times, and then it didn't, and there was a whole other bunch of missions. And you're like, oh, come on. I did finish it last night. I was like, I went home. It was like homework, but I did get a bit ragey at the final boss battle, because I was like, just come on, end, you stupid icy git.
It outstayed its welcome a bit.
The what?
It outstayed its welcome.
A little bit. A little bit, yeah. Okay. I mean, the problem is that I think, it's great. If you've bought the game, it's fantastic value. Whereas when you're kind of in positions where we are, where you're supposed to be playing every game a little bit, it's impossible. Yeah. I mean, what's it going to be like in 5 years' time? Everyone's going to play like 2 games a year, and that's it.
Especially with how big they are these days, right?
Yeah.
To complete The Witcher, I think I spent 200 hours on it. And then Metal Gear, I'm probably 100 hours in.
Metal Gear is probably not the game you want to play straight after The Witcher 3.
No.
Because you're just going to go, oh, here's another 100 hours of my life. Gone.
It's like they don't want me to have a life. It's like some sort of hideous plot.
Well, Metal Gear Solid has 50 main missions and 157 side missions. So there's 207 missions, and there's a whole open world to roam.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
I might just stick with main quest. With main quest.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm actually trying to do all the missions as well.
Yeah, you're trying to S-rank every single mission, aren't you?
And even do every side mission as well. Obviously, being an achievement and trophy site, you
kind of have to.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's kind of in our blood. So every game, every achievement.
Well, there's a point you get to where it becomes Chapter 2, and I think from there, you're going to struggle with that.
No, mate, no. I'm on Chapter 2 now.
Are you?
Yeah, S-rank, first mission, bang.
Really?
I've only done 1 mission, yeah.
Oh, well, just wait.
I'm the complete opposite to you guys. Like, I never go back to do a second play to get achievements. Because I kind of feel like video games are a bit like life. Like, it only has meaning because of the decisions and terrible mistakes that you've made.
Yeah.
Which is why you try and do it properly. I don't need to start opening up that can of addictive worms.
Yeah. See, what I do is I sort of go in trying for the S rank, and then if all goes wrong, I'm like, oh, forget it. I'll be happy with an A, a B, a C, whatever. Just get through the mission. And then if I feel like it later on, maybe I'll go back, but...
The only thing I kind of vaguely did it with was Dishonored, right? So
Yeah.
I'd go into each level on Dishonored and try and do a speed run just to see what happened, right?
Yeah.
But then I'd go back and then stealth it.
Yeah, okay.
But not like as a separate thing. I'd just reload a different save. It was really weird. I played that game
in
basically
Dishonored, though, I love the combat so much that if stealth went out the window, I'd be like, oh, great, I get to have a fight. That's just as fun as being stealthy.
But stealth is so hard. It's really hard to be quiet, is what I've realised. And so it's usually stealth, mess it up, kill everything.
What about Dan's aggressive stealth, as he's coined it?
Aggressive stealth, yeah. So
where you sneakily bludgeon people to death.
So
Tell us the ethos of aggressive stealth.
So the ethos of aggressive stealth is I go into every mission to be as stealthy as possible, but to kill everyone. So I can't leave one body behind.
Because if no one's left alive, no one can detect you, right?
Exactly, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I kind of approach Metal Gear the same way, but not killing them. I stun everyone, then Fulton them.
Well, that's what I do in Metal Gear, and it's great.
Every single guard in every mission, I steal and become my men. You know, that's how you roll.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I basically go after everyone. Just because if I leave one body and then somebody detects it, it's all screwed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of them. Either Fulton them like in Metal Gear or hide them in closets in Assassin's Creed Syndicate or something like that. So, yeah.
Must be a nasty surprise. I'm just going to go and get dressed. Dead body. Try and get something out of a drawer. Dead body.
Falling into your face.
But, yeah, I don't like Dishonored. I had a bad experience with it. There was an achievement for completing the game without killing anyone. And I went through the entire game without killing anyone. Or so I thought. But in the first mission, like the prologue, I picked up a body and I hit it around a corner. But I I dropped it in a puddle, face down. And I didn't realise that bodies, they drowned if you put their face in water.
That's so annoying. But Dishonored had a weird thing as well where you could where you could do that. But then there was one part of the mission where you had to make a decision, and if you made the wrong decision, then it kind of wiped that achievement off. There was something about like it was one of the choices at the end.
Like where you have to end up killing someone.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because it wasn't just like the henchman thing. So you could completely stealth it, but if you made the wrong decision at that point, that was it. Which is what I think I did, and I was like, damn it, it was the middle of the way through the game. I'm not going back now.
Going back a second to the Fulton recovery system in Metal Gear, though, I think you'd enjoy that. Fulton recovering everything. Just go around, Fulton recover sheep, wolves, bears,
tanks.
I had to put about 10 darts into a bear
challenge.
just so I could steal that bear.
Yeah, exactly. Just Fulton recover anything in sight, anything and everything.
Game hoarding.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much fun.
You go into the garage and there's just henchmen piled up all around.
It's the most satisfying thing ever, just Fultoning animals. It's like early on in the game, you see a little tiny puppy.
Yeah.
And you shoot it with a trank.
Yeah.
And you Fulton it out. And then later on your base, it grows up to be a dog.
D-dog.
You have it as a buddy.
I like dogs. I want a dog on my base.
There we go.
Have you, speaking of Metal Gear, have you seen some of the Metal Gear cosplay outside?
Oh, really?
There's a lot of quiet cosplayers.
I've seen a few
quite risque. Yeah. It's like, oh, wow. You don't realise it in the game until you see it in
real life, and then you're like, ooh, wouldn't go out like that. Yeah, there was something I read online, actually, which was like, all these women who've been complaining about it. Actually, loads of people have cosplayed, but the problem is, a female cosplayer, you're kind of stuck with quite sexist characters because they're made that way. It's not because you have a choice in the matter. You just end up wearing basically pants.
You've seen Quiet, haven't you? She's basically a bikini and tights.
Everyone's seen Quiet, right?
I'd literally despair.
Yeah, everyone knows about Quiet.
It's for reasons, though.
What's that?
Just spoilers.
Sorry.
It is a spoiler, but
I just thought maybe like boobs were distracting, so you could go up to a guard and be like, "Oh, hi."
It's not a massive spoiler, but essentially she
it is a spoiler.
Breathes through her skin.
But he's going to say it anyway.
Oh, you've spoilt it now.
That's the whole game
ruined.
You
learn early on.
It's typical kind of Kojima reasoning for something. It's like, I'll make up a reason. It'll work. It'll make sense.
Funnily enough, all the reasoning ends up with women in bikinis. There's never one where they're fully clothed.
I know, right? It's weird.
It's cold. Wear some clothes. That's the reason enough, surely.
So basically, you use a helicopter as kind of your base of operations. And when you're in it, you're on your, what's it called, your iDroid?
Yeah.
You're on your iDroid and you choose missions and stuff like that. And in the background, you've got your buddy in the helicopter with you.
Yeah.
So it could be D-Dog just there going, or it could be Quiet doing very risque poses. Just
provocative
kind of,
stretching.
I didn't realise.
Let me just get something out of my bag down here.
Do you know what it is, though? As your bond with her goes up, because each buddy you take on your mission, you build a bond with them as you go on more missions with them. So the higher the bond, the more sexy her sort of positions are.
Because you should be rewarded for being an awesome man by
you're
less
bonding.
clothes
She's
on the
more
women.
comfortable with you. That's what she does.
Right,
that's how it works in real life, right?
Yeah. We're getting a lot of stick on the Twitch chat for talking about Metal Gear, because we do talk about it a lot, because we're big Metal Gear fans.
Okay.
Let's talk about Until Dawn.
All right, let's talk about Until Dawn. This is one of your favourite games of the year, right?
I loved this game. It was one of those ones where you like heard such little about it. It wasn't really on anyone's radar particularly. All right, Dan, you're the winner of everything.
How long are you gonna?
This is the story that goes on for podcasts and podcasts, like probably earlier podcasts, like probably episode 10. This is like episode 44?
43.
I said that Until Dawn was going to be good, and everyone was like, nah, mate, you're an idiot, shut up. And I was like, no, it's going to be good. Evolve's going to be shit, Until Dawn's going to be good. And everyone was like, you're on drugs, mate. Evolve's brilliant, I played it. Until Dawn, yeah, whatever.
It's actually...
Came out.
I think everyone was sort of quite surprised. And I think, like, when you have a game... It's kind of like the gaming equivalent of Cabin in the Woods. So, like, if you like horror movies, it's so self-aware, and it literally throws, I mean, more than Cabin in the Woods, it throws everything in it. You've got, like, creatures from The Descent. You've got an old ancient burial ground. You've got a, murdering psychopath. You've got a girl who gets out and fights enemies in a bath towel. Like, it's got every possible horror movie cliche, but that's what makes it brilliant. And as much as everyone always complains about, like, QTE events in games, because the gameplay is quite light and it's just exploratory, and you find things and then that actually affects the story later on, and the decisions you make in conversations affect later on, so you don't mind going through the cutscenes of chat because it has relevance. And then because it's only really QTE, what annoys me about QTE is, like, you're playing a game normally and you're eating some crisps, then all of a sudden you've got like a handful of crisps and you've got to press some buttons and you're like, oh god. But because you know when the scenes are coming, you're not annoyed because it's actually quite relevant split-second decision making.
That's it, because with every cutscene, you put down the controller.
Yeah, you're like, yep, and they're like, oh god, no, quick, no, don't fall off the ledge. But it's really good, and like trying to keep American teenagers alive is quite a tricky thing, apparently.
I did that with Until Dawn to start with. I lost a character very early on.
Yeah.
So basically, you have 8 characters you have to keep alive from the start to the end.
Yeah.
I lost a character very early on
so
because I was like, I don't know what this game's about. I'm just going to put this down, grab a drink, and I'm like, oh, damn, he's dead.
See, drinking and snacking during a QTE game is lethal. I think I came out at the end with 5 or 6.
That's not bad.
I
think I had 6. Can
you save them all?
Yeah, you can save them all.
Would you go back and play? Because you would just say you wouldn't.
That's one game I would consider it.
And kill them all.
Yeah.
So it can go either way. Yeah, you could have them all die.
I remember Dan Silver said there's an option to, without being a spoiler, there's an option to kill one of your own because you're not quite sure what's happened with them. And she was really annoying. And I think Dan Silver just said he shot her because she was really annoying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that bit. Yeah.
She's just like, oh, shut up.
It's crazy because it's the horror movie cliches, like you say, but you're in control of every aspect of the story, whether it's their personality, whether it's who dies. Because if you don't like someone, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to let this person die.
You know what I thought was actually quite interesting was there's a conversation where the girl who no one likes is having an argument. She treats her boyfriend really, really badly. And there's a point where you can kind of side with her or side with this other girl. And actually what you decide then actually affects something much later in the game because she's annoyed with you. So when you're trying to calm her down later, if you make the wrong decision, she won't shut up.
Yeah.
And then it actually brings danger to you. And I thought that was actually a really interesting way of kind of moving it on, because you think normally how would that actually have any relevance, but it is about the butterfly effect. The whole game is that, about how one small thing, like you shoo away a squirrel and then a squirrel comes back later in like a really plot relevant way, and you're like, all right.
So on our live stream we were playing a evil playthrough, and
I want to do that.
It's horrible. The first hour of the game you throw a snowball at a bird, right, and kill it. You kill you shoot a squirrel, you throw a snowball at a bird, so you're killing all this nature. But later on, because of the butterfly effect thing, it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
So I think you get, there's moose attacks and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's really interesting. And actually, for anyone out there who's looking for a game, okay, because I think this is a problem. I think gaming is still quite, because you have the controller, and the controller is quite a compromise, and it's quite difficult for anyone who doesn't game to kind of pick up and understand. And I think I'm always on the lookout for games that people who aren't really into gaming can actually play and really, really enjoy, and I think that's one. But I also think if they're a bit scared of not knowing, because it's one of those things where you have to know where the buttons are without looking, sort of thing. But it's one of those games you can actually play with someone sitting next to you, and they get just as much enjoyment out of it as you do helping you make the decisions. So if you guys out there are looking for a scary game, I think it's quite a good one, you know. I played it over 3 evenings. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't rage quit once.
I think the thing is,
crazy, right?
The thing is, even if you make a bad decision, it still leads to something interesting. It's still good to watch, and the story still goes on, and more interesting events happen. It's not a lot many games do.
And not just that. A bad decision at the time doesn't necessarily mean a bad decision later on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of shades of grey.
But see, we were talking about this with The Witcher, and how actually, like, without, you know, spoiling anything, but the consequences of your actions within the game. And obviously, like, the majority of the decisions you make are actually irrelevant, whereas in Until Dawn, everything seems quite relevant. But yeah, talking about the endings and how, depending on what you did, especially in the romance option, or little things that you do, and how it has an actual real relevance at the end of the game. And Dan and I were just saying that it was like, well, I'm not gonna chat up 2 women again. I'm not gonna do that again in a game, because you end up lonely.
Yes, that's a nice segue. So my favourite game of the year is The Witcher 3 by far.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love Metal Gear. There's other games like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
That was amazing.
Which was brilliant. But for me, it's The Witcher. And me and Julie were talking about earlier on. So in video games, we tend to romance as many characters as possible.
Because, you know, we live vicariously through our gaming characters.
Exactly,
it's like, hey, look, that's an attractive woman. Let's chat her up.
Exactly. So
it's normal.
You compare The Witcher to Mass Effect. In Mass Effect, you romance everyone, and then at the end you get a choice, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, because this is how life really works. It's like,
I'll take that one.
All 5 people at the end go, yeah, so who are you going to choose out of all of us 5? Because that would never happen.
No, that would never happen.
In The Witcher, if you try and romance 2 people at once, at the end, it all falls apart.
Did you get the, like, come to our...
Yeah.
Okay, right. I don't want to reveal anything. So, but that was quite funny, because you were like, oh, yes! And then it's like, shut down.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yes! It's paying off for me for once in my life.
See, but Mass Effect, because I play as FemShep, because let's be honest, Jennifer Hale is better.
No.
Come on, she is.
Mark Meir is a friend of this stage.
Yes, he's a lovely man, but I way prefer Jennifer Hale. She has very subtle nuances in her voice that I like. Anyway, but if you play as the woman in Mass Effect, like especially in Mass Effect 2, like your options are rubbish, romance-wise.
Oh, really?
Because, well, look, what you've got the fish face guy, you've got Garrus whose face is like tectonic plates. I mean, can you imagine kissing that? You're just going to get your tongue caught in a hinge, right? That's going to be gross. You've got the dude who looks like Kanye West.
Yeah.
And there's just not a lot of options. And then you've got Jack, who just plays you along the whole time, being a bit interested, but not really, you know, putting out.
See, I think I'd go for Garrus. I'd like me a bit of Garrus.
Yeah, but he's got flappy face. Imagine that. What if he like kissed your nipple and cut it off with his mouth pincer things?
I hadn't thought of that.
I think I've thought way too much about this, actually. Yeah. Maybe I've taken it further than it really should have gone.
Turning into fan fiction.
Okay. But yeah, so The Witcher, easily my favourite game of the year. From the combat to the story to the dialogue, it's just some of the quests which are just absolutely ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah. Did you do the drunk dialing portal calling dressed as a?
Oh, it's brilliant, right? So
I missed it. I was being good because I was trying to romance Yennefer and keep her sweet, so I went to bed.
Yeah, so there's a scene in the game where if you've played it, you get to a certain point and there's an option to go to bed or just to stay out and drink with your other witchers. And it turns into like an episode of like...
Hollyoaks.
What have they done that before? Was it Friends? Was it Friends where they've done something like that before?
I don't know, but basically you basically drunk portal dial dressed as a woman, and there's like some weird man there going like, "Hello, what's this? Yeah. Let's talk to sexy witches, sorceresses." Like,
But for me, the monster hunting was the best part of that game, because it's the whole kind of Batman did it with the detective mode.
Tracking the animal.
Track the animal, you do the research, and then you prepare for the fight, and then you do the fight.
I mean, we all enjoyed your Jenny of the Woods battle. Yeah. That was great fun.
I'm sure people have mentioned that.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of boss fights. I tend to get quite annoyed because I panic, and then I can't do it because you're supposed to be strategic, and I'm not strategic. I'm like, why won't it die? But actually, in The Witcher, I really, really enjoyed them because they're all very, very different.
Yeah.
You know, normally I just hack and slash my way through and hope for the best.
Can't get away with that.
No, you can't.
No.
I've learned my lesson.
Yeah. You have to oil your swords up. You have to make potions. You have to make bombs.
Yeah.
You have to do research on their weaknesses and stuff like that, and it's brilliant. So.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Abrahams, what has been your favourite game of the year? That wasn't The Witcher, Metal Gear, or Until Dawn.
Yeah, you can't pick them.
Three of the best games.
I was going to go for Metal Gear, but you've ruined it. I actually really enjoyed Arkham Knight, and I know it gets a lot of hate, but I think it, for me, was the best of the 3, and I know everyone hated the Batmobile, and now, put away your face.
What was wrong with the 3?
They had so much going for it, though. You had the whole city to explore. I think the side missions were interesting without overstaying their welcome. I really got into it.
I think it's just more like, obviously, you know, when Arkham City came out, and it was just tuned to perfection, you know, because like in the Asylum you couldn't really do that many Batman-y things because you were running down corridors, and that always felt a bit annoying. And then City was the sort of best version of that, and I think it's always the ones where it just suddenly kind of reaches that kind of level of perfection, like Mass Effect 2, where it just kind of reaches that sweet spot and then everyone kind of goes mental over it, and then it's still always like a bit of a refinement afterwards, but you never get that same like, oh yeah, I'm loving this, like you're really in the game, really in the moment.
See, I loved.
No, I do love it, but it's not one of those games like where you're like, yes, like this is, you're feeling it, you know.
See, I love Arkham Asylum, but to me, Arkham Knight felt like it was the kind of full realization of the Batman fantasy. Like everything Batman can do, you can do in that game. You know what I mean? Like just gliding, calling the Batmobile, jumping into the Batmobile, driving around a bit, catapulting out of the seat and flying around. I mean, it's so good,
right? And you're interacting with all the famous enemies, and I just really got into it. For me, I mean, you
know, it's always good being Batman. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good being Batman.
I mean, the ending kind of ruined it in a way, but
I've not got to the ending.
Yeah.
I got to one point and I was like, this is good, but I'm going to go back to The Witcher.
I was going through, what did I have to do? We're doing like shooting a video for the Golden Joysticks about like favourite games of the year. And I went through all the games of the year and I realised how few I'd played, because I've basically just been playing The Witcher for like 4 months. Like nothing else, just,
That's I think this is the problem now. You have to commit to one big game, and if you do, you're just going to miss out on so many other games.
It's just impossible.
Lee has still not played Mass Effect.
I've still not played any Mass Effect.
What about Assassin's Creed?
Be gone with ye.
No, I think he has got round to Assassin's Creed, haven't you?
Yeah, I have played. I've played
all of them.
4 Assassin's Creeds in like 2 years.
Jeez.
Oh wow.
So hold on, so 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations.
Brotherhood, and then I skipped 3. I skipped Revelations. I played Black Flag.
Okay.
Well, as much as 3 gets a lot of stick, I loved Assassin's Creed 3.
Everyone hated Assassin's Creed 3, and I'd literally just played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and Brotherhood back to back.
I like the Pirates of the Caribbean one. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
There you go. Pirates.
Are you going to play Syndicate?
Sorry?
Are you going to play Syndicate?
I was playing a little bit of it last night, and oh my God, does it look good?
It looks great.
Right? I mean, it really looks spectacular. Really
we were playing it yesterday as well, weren't we?
I know, but I played a bit more last night.
I thought you were last night you went home and then played it again.
Yeah.
I love the setting of it, but having played a bit of it, I just think, it's more Assassin's Creed. There's nothing overly new about it for me, so I'll probably play it, but I've still got Metal Gear to finish. I've still got The Witcher 3 to play.
Well, look at this first world problems. I've got too many video games.
No,
everyone has the same thing. But here's the thing, though. Like, okay, if you look at the difference between Assassin's Creed, right, and The Witcher. The Witcher has all of these. I mean, some of them are just fetch quests, but nothing ever felt like that because they voice everything. Every tiny little mission that you do feels important. Whereas kind of Assassin's Creed and a lot of Ubisoft games, it's like they've gone through and been like, right, what makes a great game? Let's all chuck in something. And they go down and they make this list, and it's kind of like gaming paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Like, it's a game, and yes, you can see it's artistic and it's beautiful, but because they dissect it so much and reform it, it feels like you've lost a little something of the nuance. Because it's like, okay, so we have to release the area, then you have to do this thing, then you have to do that, and it's like a checklist.
Yeah.
And you know it's a checklist, and it feels like a checklist. But in The Witcher, it never felt like a checklist.
It never
felt like that.
I completely agree.
As much as I like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I do still feel like the franchise would benefit from kind of taking a year off. Do you know what I mean? Just get people kind of hyped and interested in it again, because you get the sense that people are a bit like, oh, not another one every year.
They're better off doing it every few years, because then you've left it for a while, you come back at it with fresh eyes, then it's not so obviously compared to the last one, and it just feels a bit different. And then you can really go to town on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the problem with the yearly dev cycle is that if you miss one, you then don't feel like you can play the next one without going back to the one you missed. So, which is what I did. I stopped playing at 3, I missed Black Flag, and I'm like, I feel like I can't go back now. Somebody said there's no mention of Unity. That's probably for a reason.
Well, this is the thing, though. And the problem is, it feels like occasionally they're wasting such good locations and ideas. Like Unity, you want to explore Paris, and Syndicate, you want to go. The London looks amazing. You want to go around it and explore it. but it's the same Assassin's Creed. It's like, climb this tower and open it up.
It's like compassion fatigue,
Stop these muggers. And
it's just overkill, and it doesn't feel special anymore because you're just churning them out. And actually, you want a game to feel special and fresh and a bit different because, you know, there's so many good games out there. You want to have that feeling, that excitement. When you go, it's like when you used to play like really old point-and-click adventures, right? And you go into a new screen and you'd be like, new screen, there's new things to do, right? And then in Assassin's Creed, it's like, I've got a new area. God. I felt that way about Dragon Age Inquisition as well. I was like,
really?
New area. And I was like, that is not the response you should have playing a game.
I loved Dragon Age Inquisition.
But it was still a checklist. Do the rifts, go around, do this.
Mind you, a lot of games feel like checklists these days.
You get to an area of the map, though, and like 1,000 new side activities popping, like, oh, here's a bunch of chores
collectibles as well.
But Rich was saying that Assassin's Creed isn't that bad. When it
I like it. Yeah.
No, when it comes to there's not too much content.
Do you have to chase bits of paper again? No, that really annoyed me.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to chase anything. I mean, there are still too many collectibles. That you've got to collect, like pressed flowers, beer bottles.
But it's just like they put it in this padding. It's basically padding to try and make the game a bit longer and to really annoy people with OCD.
Yeah.
Like just to annoy them.
Well, the thing is, it really kind of plays into that because if you go to your progress tracker, there's like a little kind of circular gauge showing how much you've done, and if you get 100%, you get like a gold kind of thing, and it's quite satisfying.
Rich.
It's like it's gold. I like it. But yeah, do you know what I mean? So
let's look forward now. Thango asks, what has Fallout 4 got to do to be Game of the Year?
Just be awesome.
Yeah, just not
be
really
awesome.
suck.
That's
not
really
have too
helpful.
many bugs.
It sounds like it's already doing the right things because they've got, I mean, it looks amazing, fully voiced, like thousands of lines of dialogue. They've got that really cool thing where you can gather resources and then build settlements, right? That is going to be awesome.
That'd be cool.
What is it, 75 perks and like 250 odd permutations thereof? It's like massive, and you can no level cap. You can keep playing.
The thing about Fallout is always finding things that you never expect to find. So you just go to some out of the way place, and a quest happens, and it's amazing. It's something interesting. Like you ran across that little village of children. Was it in Fallout 3? And they were all underground.
Oh yeah, maybe.
There was a little village. It was just entirely children running the vault and things.
Bethesda have a habit of doing that, though, right? Because I remember the one from Skyrim. That ended up being like The Hangover. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Wait, what was that one?
You had to trace the steps back, so you woke up drunk after you went to a pub to meet someone, and then the next day you have to trace your steps back to get everything, and it's things like
piece together what happened.
Here's the thing, though. It's I was going through and talking about The Witcher and like what my favourite experiences from that. The only things I could remember were the romance things, the sex on a unicorn, the port thing, and you need to have those kind of weird little things that happen that seem really out of the ordinary to be able to go through. Well, there's this, and this, because otherwise it's just one long on a horse riding around collecting herbs.
Well, it's telling that that's the main bit you remember the most, right? Because it's like, oh wow, this is cool.
It sticks in the memory somewhat.
Yeah.
Sex on a unicorn.
Yeah, of course.
Check that off my list.
So I take it everybody's picking up Fallout 4, right? When it launches.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a no-brainer.
Weeks, right? 2 weeks. November
2
10th?
weeks, God, yeah.
I mean, hopefully it means I won't have to spend any time with my family at Christmas, so I'm looking forward to that.
And you just finished The Witcher 2 weeks ahead of Fallout 4's launch, so...
Have some, like, really serious Metal Gear Solid action for 2 weeks.
There you go. So you've got that. That'll last you till February when...
If you play Metal Gear 10 hours a day, you might finish it just in time.
Oh, God, why does work have to get in the way of gaming? It's so annoying.
It's really annoying.
It's a hard life.
I mean, it's frankly just irritating. I have to get dressed out of pyjamas
I tell you what, November's a big month as well. You've got Fallout and Tomb Raider on the same day. Then a week later, Star Wars Battlefront.
The week before that, Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
I currently, I've just moved. I have no internet in my house.
Wow.
And like now they don't really, a lot of the time, send you box copies of games. They send you a code. So I had to basically I'm running everything through my phone data. I downloaded Halo 5 over my phone to my Xbox. Nothing, because I complained to Vodafone and they gave me 3 months unlimited data.
Oh, nice.
They're regretting that choice. I don't think my phone's going to last much longer because it gets roaringly hot. I'm like,
really?
This better be a good game.
And how long did that take to download Halo 5?
About 3 days.
Oh, okay, 3 days. Wow.
I mean, not all day, every day, but just when I was at home, I'd do it for a few hours.
Let's hope we didn't get the wrong file, because some people got the stub file instead of the real file.
Oh, don't even joke. I haven't even checked.
Have you not checked it yet? Well, no, you're going to get home and you're going to...
What's that?
No! They're basically, if you got the pre-order download, if you download the Halo 5 in advance, some people have been downloading the wrong thing. There's nothing they could do about it, but they get a small stub file. I say small. It's like 20, 30 gig. But you need the 40 gig file, or you've got no Halo game.
Brilliant.
Plus a day one update of
That's good news for people, isn't it?
This is the worst month, 2 months to not have internet. It's really upsetting me.
And speaking of Halo,
of course, Halo's out this week.
Yeah.
Tuesday, innit?
Monday. Well,
Tuesday.
12 o'clock.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so we've got Frank O'Connor from 343 on the stage later on, and we're playing Halo 5 with him. So do come back, both people here and people on Twitch.
And there's the live stream as well on Monday.
And there is the live stream.
That certain people are, doing.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah. World famous celebrities.
So, you mentioned Battlefront. Let's talk Battlefront. Did you get a chance to play the beta?
Well, yes, I did. I had one. Well, yes, I did.
I'm glad you asked that question.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
I basically had kind of one extended session with it, kind of fit around other stuff. But I enjoyed it immensely. They need to address Walker Assault because the Rebels hardly ever win.
But, it feels quite unbalanced a little bit.
It does a bit, right? Yeah,
but it's actually really, really, really hard to get anywhere on it.
It's almost not that fun being the Imperials because you kind of guaranteed a win unless you do something really wrong. So,
it seems a shame that it's unbalanced, though.
Yeah, well, they have acknowledged it, haven't they, in saying that they're going to address it. So, but what I played, I enjoyed, and it's kind of that Star Wars kind of fantasy. It feels nice.
Finally, there's people nerdgasming across the globe.
Exactly.
Making
Star
their
Wars game
controllers
to really
sticky
look
with
to.
nerdgasm.
Have you seen the trailer for it? The TV trailer?
No.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So basically a guy in an office
that is cool, yeah.
throws his chair out the window and jumps on an X-Wing, and it's like... Oh, because it's like
his
flashbacks
childhood.
to his childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The best thing in that video as well, if you notice in the background, there is a walker, but it's a dog dressed in a walker outfit, and as he's walking, it's just basically a walker. It's brilliant. But yeah, did you play the beta, Lee?
I did. I'm going to be controversial and say I'm really not that bothered.
Really?
Sorry.
Not at all.
Why not?
I think part of it comes down to what we talked about earlier. There's just so many games coming out, and I've never been a big fan of Battlefront. It just feels like it's the kind of game I'd play online for maybe a week and then get really bored of and then never play it again. Sorry.
Boo. I played one
I
map.
just took the vibe out of the room.
I played the one half map for about 20 hours, and I was not bored at the end.
Really?
It's just going over and over.
It just feels kind of like, how long has it taken them to make a game that was half decent?
Yeah,
It's had a long time.
Yeah. But they haven't really had the Star Wars license thing that long, right? I mean, they announced it 2 E3s ago, I want to say.
I was trying to think of like a Star Wars game that I've played that I actually enjoyed.
Lego
I think that'll
Star
change,
Wars.
Right?
Lego Star Wars.
Masters of
But
Terra
then that's a Lego game,
Yeah. Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed was good.
The first Force Unleashed.
Not the second
one was
not
terrible.
the second one.
Although we streamed the first Force Unleashed.
You hated it, didn't you? Didn't you
It
get
just
wound
got
up?
really frustrating. Because it's like 8 years old or whatever it is. And it's
wait, what was that Kinect game?
Kinect Star Wars.
Star Wars dancing.
Oh my god, that was so terrible. It was hilarious.
Where you had Darth Vader and the Emperor having a dance-off.
Oh, that was amazing.
Like, wow.
Han Solo should not dance.
That was hilarious. Like, terribly. I'm going to go find that. I sort of want to play that now.
I actually stumbled on a video of it the other day because somebody was talking about, do you remember this Darth Vader? And it's like just doing this dance off like
a mate of mine's a massive Star Wars fan, has been since he was a little kid. He bought that game, got really excited about it. He actually hated it so much, he tore it out of his console and threw it out of his window.
Wow.
That's how much he didn't like it. Yeah. I was
People
like, you could have given it me out about it.
About these things.
Thango brings up a good point. X-Wing was a good Star Wars game.
I don't think I played that.
And the old Battlefront.
Was that the GameCube one? X-Wing. There's one on the
GameCube.
GameCube.
Are you thinking of Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron.
That was a good game, actually. That was all right.
But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But now, everybody gives EA a lot of abuse and aggro. But they've got a good team working on the story one, right? Which is Amy Hennig, which did Uncharted. She was the lead writer on Uncharted 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I think
so. And that's Visceral as well, who made Dead Space.
Of course, yeah.
It's got potential.
That could actually,
Yeah.
I think Battlefront does a lot well. It looks beautiful. It's got all the things you want. If you're a Star Wars fan, it looks amazing. It gives you that fantasy. You can get in all the vehicles. You can control Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And some of the videos, you know, where the guy crashing the A-Wing into Darth Vader was amazing. The one where Luke Skywalker got stood on by an AT-AT.
That's brilliant.
They announced new heroes as well recently. So if you don't know, there's going to be Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, Emperor Palpatine, Princess Leia, Han Solo. Yeah. So that's cool.
I just can't work out how Princess Leia is a hero character. She didn't do anything heroic in the films, right?
She does. She blasts people. She strangles Jabba.
She records messages.
She records messages, exactly.
Imagine that. I want the R2-D2 hero character just
go around shocking people.
Yeah, the question is, would you have him fly around like he did in the other movies?
But he lost the ability in 4, 5, and 6.
He mysteriously lost that ability,
Yeah, we were having that conversation the other day.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
So, you've seen all the Star Wars films, right?
Yeah, well.
What about C-3PO as a hero character? Just walking around like that. He can't do anything. He just goes, oh my, yeah. But, that'd be good.
And Star Wars films, R2-D2 in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I'm not sure it's 1. But there's an episode where he flies.
I think it's 2. I think
he's more tricked out in the earlier Star Wars films than he is later on.
Which are after that.
So bad.
He's got old, this robot. He's lost abilities. But yeah, so Battlefront for me is high. And my only concern is lack of content.
What other heroes and villains would you like to see?
I just want Boba Fett.
Oh, he's already in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
How many maps is it going to ship with?
So there's 10 maps,
10, okay.
right? No.
11, isn't it?
4
or 12.
Or 12, right? Because there's 4 planets, 3 maps a planet.
Yeah.
But then they've already hit the DLC controversy flashpoint of the DLC costing as much as the game.
Oh, the season pass.
Yeah, but that's nothing new, though, right?
Ouch.
Battlefield 4 had exactly the same.
Well, Batman Arkham Knight that had a £35 season pass,
and you didn't get much for that, right?
There's been nothing for it really so far.
Really?
It's weird seeing different.
You had
studios.
the really short Catwoman bits.
Yeah.
You had a couple of Batmobile skins that gave you a couple of races, and there's a new one coming.
The Batgirl thing as well, I suppose. That didn't last that long.
It's weird seeing different developers do different, like, kind of angles for games and the way they approach it.
But then you go back to The Witcher, and they had 16 pieces of DLC
for free.
Yeah, and if you look at Halo 5, all the first 15 maps are free, right? So I'm not sure whether that's because of the Master Chief Collection problems or what. You would have thought so, but still, 15 maps.
Who cares? Free stuff is good.
That's great, right? But then you look at Battlefront on the other side. It's 4 pieces of DLC for $50, right? And
well, it sounds like they're going the way of Destiny as well, like by offering emotes and things, which is just there.
I'm just Destiny.
Destiny, oh yeah.
Well, Lee spent Lee, who's not here, Lee Bradley, he spent £8 on emotes.
I'm just, I don't know. It didn't really do anything for me, Destiny.
I was hoping that we'd have one podcast without talk about Destiny because Lee's not here.
Sorry.
I was going to jokingly say it was my game of the year, but I thought no.
So Lee,
it's not funny.
So Lee, the other chap that does the podcast with us usually, his wife is due like 3 days ago.
3 days.
So he's got the weekend off.
That's the only way Dan would give him time off was because his wife was having a baby.
I'm a good boss.
No, you're not. You're evil. We all know this.
Every podcast he talks about Destiny. Every podcast. And I thought, he's not here. We're going to get through it without mentioning it. And then Rich.
Sorry,
everyone.
Richie ruined it.
How dare you?
Let's forget it ever happened. Let's move on.
Are you excited about any other games this year? I mean, what else is out?
Wait, what
Tomb
else
Raider?
is there? Yeah, Tomb Raider. I played the beginning of that. And obviously, with all the problems with ISIS and Syria, right? I'm going somewhere with this. The first thing that I played was, you're in a tomb in Syria, and like the end of the first bit is basically the tomb gets destroyed, and you sort of think like, oh, that's a bit close to home. Maybe it wasn't ISIS, it was just Lara Croft bumbling through and just accidentally destroyed that library.
Yeah.
That was made before the Syria stuff. That's what they'll say, right?
There was nothing like actually verbally spoken about saying it was Syria. It just said on the screen, Syria. I was like, just change the text. I mean, just make it a different country.
Exactly, right? Change the location.
Yeah, it's not that hard, surely.
Because it's not geographically correct. It's like, this is actually in Syria, so if you want to go Tomb Raiding yourself, you can. No.
I mean, I played a lot of it. It's great because I found like the last one was it felt quite relentless. It was like this constant battle all the way through. Not in a bad way, but just you didn't really feel like you had time to breathe so much. And whereas with this, and you don't have to do the tombs, but it's like a really nice moment where you're like, okay, cool, I can just be in this quiet room. I might fall off something or get squished by a thing from above, but I'm not going to get shot at for a while. And anyway, people like feeling smart. I think that was kind of part of the point, right, of Tomb Raider? Feeling a bit clever.
Did you like the last one?
Yeah, I loved it.
Did you?
I didn't dig it that much.
It was a bit more action
Yeah,
oriented.
it was very
the fact that the tombs were optional as well.
Because you've got the tombs, so now you can kind of wander off and go and solve puzzles and stuff, as well as the main story of
well,
going around.
I've got a stat for you. 30% of the new Tomb Raider is tombs.
Great stat.
33.3333%.
A third of the game.
Yeah. So...
I want all of the games to be tombs.
I
want 100% tombs.
That's it. I loved old school Tomb Raider because it was tombs. And I know she killed people and stuff like that, and I'm not too bothered about that, but that was the small part of the game, whereas it's flipped on its head in the last couple of years where it's all action and a tiny bit of tombs.
So, so it'll be better. You'll prefer this one?
Well, it's...
I hope so.
23% better than the last one.
I think I'd enjoy that more. It's like there's so many games where it's all running and gunning and action elements, and just to be able to explore and things like the old school Prince of Persia games where there weren't really that many enemy sections, but you were just running around and solving puzzles, and it was... I find that more interesting.
Yeah, you want something different, right? Something
or
like a unique experience.
What's the good thing about a good example of really good pacing is like The Last of Us? Because I think going into that, I thought I was going to be really, really stressed all the way through because I love survival horror, but I'm not bad at it. But I just get like really panicky and like things after me. And I loved the pacing of that because it went from like 100 to 0 within like a couple of minutes. So it was really quiet and really thoughtful. And then suddenly you're like, oh my God. That one bit in the basement with the water and the clickers and like, you know, you just literally survive by the skin of your teeth. You're like, through the...
That's when you fall down, right? And you're on your own as well.
You're like, this is fucking horrible.
Just before the infamous animal scene. I'm not going to mention the animal in case somebody...
I love that game though.
Some miracle not played The Last of Us.
Spoilers.
The spoilers.
It's literally the best game.
It's a great game.
But speaking of The Last of Us, we got Nolan North in like 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Do we get toilet breaks before this happens?
We do, yeah. So we got another 5 minutes. So we've got Just Cause out in December as well, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't be more bored.
Really?
What?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
To blow things up.
Look, I saw it at E3. I saw a trailer at E3 and they're like...
Have you played it?
No.
It's amazing.
You need to play it.
There's nothing to it. Oh, let's blow some things up. Great.
What more do you want? What more do you want?
No, seriously. It's the same with like Saints Row, right, where they just throw everything at it and it loses something. You've got to have more to it than that because you'll play it. I guarantee you'll all play it for like an hour and then you'll be like,
no.
Yeah, bored.
That you can attach mines to like a wheelie bin.
That's going to last 20 minutes.
Put a little mod on, right? And it blasts the bin into the air and it spins off.
So it's a glorified explosion simulator.
No. You can attach one guy to another guy with the, what do they call it? The
tethers.
The tether.
You can have up to
and then
6.
You can pull them together and they smash it.
You could have like a conga line of 6 and just smash them all together.
You're going to play this for like an hour and then you're going to be really
You're
bored.
going to fall back into like the Assassin's Creed thing. You're going to have all these markers on the map. You're not going to mess around saying, I'm going to attach four mines to this guy and a tripwire, and then I'm going to fly around. No, I've got 20 markers to clear. I'm going to rush in, kill everyone, and leg it to the next one.
It's just like, honestly, I'm calling this now. This would be like a wet.
I was going to say, we can't talk about it yet because we're under embargo till Monday, right?
Oh, it's okay.
But we've got Just Cause on the stage later on, and you'll see, we'll change your mind.
No, you won't change my mind.
I think, in fairness, I have played it, and it is. You get
fun,
bored of sandbox games because there's so many sandbox games and so much to do them.
Yeah.
But I think it is different enough to give a chance to that.
I'm not convinced. I'm usually good at calling these things.
I'm good at calling these things,
no,
and I'm calling it now.
No,
that'll. It might not sell amazingly, but people will love it. It will be a great game. And it'll be like 8s and above.
My main concern would be that it's coming out so close to Christmas, and there's so many big games.
It's just going to get lost. It will get lost.
It might just get lost in the crush.
Yeah, but it's December. There's only another game out, another big AAA game out in December.
But we're still going to be playing like all the other games from November, though. No one's going to finish them yet.
Yeah.
People are still going to be playing Fallout, so
people are still going to be trying to finish The Witcher.
Yeah, and the DLC that just come out.
I downloaded it because boyfriend wanted it, and now it's in my game and it's there, and I'm like,
you have to do it.
No, I'm not doing it. I've finished The Witcher now. It's over.
It's never
over. I
can
move on with my life.
No.
It's another 10 hours of
I'm not doing it.
At least 10 hours.
I'm not doing it. I refuse.
You have to. Otherwise, you haven't completed the game, really.
Shut up, Rich.
Technically, it's not
over. I didn't
over.
even want the DLC anyway. It's just there.
And there's some great achievements in it. There's an achievement for killing 20 cows, just randomly.
Why?
No, you know you're going to want to do that.
No, I don't want to kill 20 cows.
You do.
I'm good. The Witcher is over. I need to move on.
No.
Who doesn't want to kill cows?
Didn't they patch the game so that if you killed too many cows, like a herd of cows came to kill you?
Oh, really?
Because people were farming them for leather to sell.
Oh, yeah.
So they put a patch in, rather than stopping people doing that exploit, they just put a patch in so if you killed too many cows in an area, a horde of cows would descend on you and murder you.
That'd be amazing. I might have to do that
Vengeance
now.
for eating all those hamburgers.
Did you hear about the taxman thing?
Yeah, the taxman.
So, did you see that? Well, actually, you might not. In the DLC, you get a taxman who comes up to you in the middle of the street and he says, it's basically, if you used an exploit in the main game, it's like, there was an exploit for farming pearls, right? Yeah. And I can't remember what the other one was.
The leather, the cow leather.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so the taxman asks you about it, and then...
That's hilarious.
But the thing is that it doesn't, I don't think it tracks what you've done. So it's like an honesty thing. It's
okay.
So if you say, no, I've not done that, even though you have, he's going to go, okay, it's all above board. I think. That's unconfirmed because I didn't do any of this. And I was like, what, mate? What? I've done nothing wrong. But apparently, if you say, yes, I've done this, yes, I've done that, you get a massive tax.
The only times I've ever really exploited a game was by changing like the clock on my PlayStation or my Xbox.
Oh, that's good.
And moving forward in time.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, especially for achievements as well.
I did that on Metal Gear 3 to kill that sniper because he was doing my head in.
Oh, the end, right?
The end.
Yeah, I killed him in the cutscene.
By 7 days, he died of old age.
Shoot him in the first cutscene, mate. That's the way to do it.
Awesome. Right, and that pretty much wraps up episode 43 of the live special Xbox Achievements and PlayStation Trophies Full English vidcast stroke podcast.
Stroke livecast.
The world's longest titled podcast.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, folks, and all the people at home on Twitch. In 10 minutes' time, hopefully, if he turns up on time, we should have Nolan North on the stage. So,
you guys excited for that? Bit of Nolan North?
So, yeah, it'll be good. We're going to have some fun with him as well. Like, proper fun. It's going to be funny. We've been working this out. I say this now, it's going to just fall and just flop.
You've hyped it too much.
I've hyped it too much. But it's going to be good. So sit comfy at home and here, and we'll be with you in 10 minutes. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.